The city park was quiet that morning, except for the occasional chirp of birds and the distant hum of traffic. Jacob Carter, CEO of a successful tech company, sat on a worn wooden bench, staring blankly at the fountain. The weight of board meetings, investor calls, and the relentless pace of success had finally caught up with him. His shoulders slumped, eyes tired, and for once, the billionaire felt small. That's when he noticed her, a little girl, no more than 7, clutching a slightly frayed teddy bear. She approached him with hesitant steps, her big brown eyes curious and bright. "You look sad," she said, tilting her head. "You can take my teddy." Jacob blinked, momentarily caught off guard. The innocence in her voice, the genuine offer of comfort, it was disarming. He shook his head, trying to suppress a smile, but the girl simply placed the bear in his hands anyway. I don't know what to say," he murmured. "Just hug him," she replied, skipping away to feed the ducks, leaving Jacob sitting there, gripping the soft, worn plush. The simple act of kindness, from someone with nothing to gain, hit him harder than any business deal or accolade ever had. In that moment, Jacob realized that life wasn't just about profits or achievements, it was about human connection, empathy, and the little gestures that reminded us we weren't alone. And for the first time in weeks, he felt a genuine, unburdened smile spread across his face. Jacob walked slowly through the park, still holding the little girl's teddy bear. The morning sunlight glinted off the fountain, and for the first time in a long while, the city felt less like a concrete maze and more like a place of possibility. He found himself remembering simpler times, childhood afternoons in the park, laughter echoing across the playground. As he walked past the swings, a young mother struggled to calm her crying baby. Without thinking, Jacob handed the teddy bear to the infant, who immediately clutched it and stopped crying. The mother's eyes softened, and she offered a small, grateful smile. It struck him then, this bear, this tiny gift, was doing more than comforting him. It was spreading warmth, uniting strangers in a small, meaningful moment. Jacob felt a stirring in his chest, an unfamiliar but welcome feeling, humility. He wondered about the little girl again. Who was she? Why had she chosen him? But he didn't need answers, her gesture had already left an imprint. He decided to sit again on a nearby bench, quietly observing the life around him. People passed, joggers ran, children laughed, pigeons flapped. And each time someone smiled at him, he felt a little more grounded. Then a thought occurred, what if kindness wasn't just a one-time thing? What if it could ripple outward, touching countless lives in ways he could never predict? Jacob clutched the bear, inhaling its faint scent of fabric and childhood. The CEO who had once thought he had all the answers realized he had much to learn, not from business schools, but from human hearts. That day, Jacob made a quiet vow, he would find the little girl and thank her properly. Not just for the bear, but for reminding him what truly mattered. Jacob couldn't get the little girl out of his mind. Her simple act of kindness had shaken him in a way no business triumph ever could. Determined to find her, he retraced his steps through the park, asking a few joggers and parents if they had seen her. Most shook their heads, but one elderly man pointed toward the ice cream stand at the far end of the park. Jacob approached slowly, his heart pounding. There she was, the little girl, now sharing a cone of vanilla with a younger boy, her teddy bear tucked safely under her arm. She looked up, startled to see him, her big eyes widening. "Hi," Jacob said softly. I wanted to thank you. For the teddy, and for reminding me what's really important." The girl hesitated, then smiled shyly. "You're welcome," she said. "Teddy likes helping people." Jacob laughed lightly, a sound he realized he hadn't made in weeks. "I think he's right." Then, unexpectedly, she looked up at him with curiosity. "Do you always look so sad?" The question pierced him deeper than he expected. For a moment, Jacob considered telling her about his life, the endless meetings, the constant pressure, the loneliness hidden behind luxury, but he stopped. Instead, he said, sometimes, yes. But meeting you, you helped change that. She beamed. Then give him a hug. He's really strong. Jacob hugged the bear tightly, feeling the weight of his own burdens lift, if only slightly. In that moment, he realized that wealth, titles, and power meant nothing without compassion and human connection. As he stood to leave, the little girl waved and ran back to her younger brother, leaving Jacob with a lesson far greater than any boardroom strategy, that true richness lies in kindness, and that even the smallest gestures can echo through a lifetime. Back at his penthouse office, Jacob set the teddy bear on his desk, its presence oddly grounding amidst the sea of contracts and glowing screens. He realized he'd been so consumed by success that he had forgotten how to notice people, truly notice them. The memory of the little girl's innocent eyes and simple words kept surfacing, softening the edges of his rigid world. That afternoon, he called an impromptu meeting with his executive team. "We're going to start a new initiative," he announced. "Not for profit, not for publicity, just to help people, in real ways, like that little girl helped me today." His team looked puzzled but intrigued. Over the next few weeks, Jacob threw himself into a new kind of work, funding community programs, helping local shelters, and mentoring young entrepreneurs from underprivileged backgrounds. With each small act, he felt lighter, more connected, more human. One rainy morning, Jacob returned to the park with a basket of donated toys, hoping, perhaps naively, to find the girl again. As he set them down near the fountain, a familiar giggle caught his attention. She ran up to him, her hair wet from the drizzle, eyes sparkling. "You brought more friends for Teddy?" she asked, pointing at the toys. Jacob knelt, smiling. "Yes. And maybe you can help me give them to other kids." Her grin widened, and together they distributed the toys, watching as children's faces lit up with joy. Jacob felt a warmth he hadn't known for years, a reminder that happiness often came not from what we take, but what we give. By the time the sun peeked through the clouds, Jacob understood that life's most valuable lessons often arrive in the smallest packages, a teddy bear, a child's smile, or a simple act of kindness that can transform even the most burdened heart. Weeks passed, and Jacob's life had transformed in ways he never anticipated. His company thrived, but more importantly, his heart felt lighter. The little girl, now affectionately nicknamed Teddy's Angel by the office team, became a symbol of genuine humanity for everyone around him. One crisp morning, Jacob received an invitation to a community event at the park. He arrived to find hundreds of children and families gathered, laughter filling the air. And there she was, the little girl, standing proudly beside a makeshift stage, holding a microphone. "I want to thank someone," she said, scanning the crowd until her eyes landed on Jacob. "This is Mr. Jacob. He learned what I knew all along, being kind is the strongest thing you can do." The crowd applauded, but Jacob felt his eyes sting. The little girl, who had given him a teddy bear on a random morning, had sparked a ripple of generosity that now touched hundreds. He knelt down beside her. "You changed my life," he said softly. "Not just with Teddy, but by showing me how small acts of love can make the biggest difference." She shrugged innocently. "I just wanted you to smile." Jacob laughed, the sound full and unburdened. "You did more than that." As the sun dipped low, painting the park in golden hues, Jacob realized something profound: wealth, power, and success were fleeting. But kindness, the courage to care, to share, and to uplift, was eternal. That day, he promised himself he would carry that lesson forward, touching as many lives as he could, one act of compassion at a time. And somewhere in the crowd, the little girl hugged her teddy bear, knowing she had changed the world in the most beautiful, unexpected way. In the end, Jacob understood the truth every child seems to know intuitively: happiness grows when it's given away.